During the first few years as a journalist, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how, if I could do my job and be who I knew myself to be. I honestly wasn't sure I could transition at work. I didn't think I'd get fired. I just didn't know if it would be possible to do my job, how I imagined a journalist to be, sort of in the background. But I knew I needed to try. Whatever life had in store for me, I knew I had to be my full, authentic self. So in May of 2003, 22 years ago, I sent an email to my dozens of coworkers at CNET, and then a week or so later, I sent an email to hundreds of sources, introduced myself, reintroduced myself, my new name, pronoun, and I held my breath, and I waited. But I didn't have to wait long, because very quickly I got amazing letters of support back. Now, transitioning did mean putting myself out there in almost every interaction. And I'm not gonna say it was easy. It was not for the faint of heart. It was exhausting. My heart would rise and fall with each name and pronoun, hoping they'd get it right, crushed when they didn't. And at first, it was pretty exhausting. But over time, it got easier. I really didn't spend that much time after the first couple years talking about being trans. I didn't even spend that much time thinking about being trans. And for a long time, that's all I really wanted. I really, really loved when I got to go on the radio or on TV and be audibly and visibly trans, but on there not for being trans, but as an expert in my field. And I thought, this is great. That's what I want for my career. But then around the time that states started passing anti-trans legislation, my feelings started to shift. As a journalist, I couldn't even speak out against these bills. Even if I could, I wasn't gonna be able to stop them. But I also couldn't sit silent. I couldn't let the next generation think that they were alone when I knew there was a lot more support than they were hearing. So in 2022, I launched the Letters for Trans Kids project, building on an idea that my cousin had. We were on the phone and she was saying, what can I do to be supportive? Can I write a letter? And something kind of clicked. I'd been thinking, what can I do? So I got a bunch of people I knew to write letters of support and share them on social media. And then others joined in, entertainers, politicians, athletes, school kids, grandmothers. One of the lessons I learned through that project and through my career thus far is just how much it matters being our authentic selves. When I first sent those letters to all those coworkers and sources, many of them had never met another trans person. I still hear from people, decades later, who got that first letter, and 7 or 8 of whom reached out because their own kid was trans or non-binary, and to tell me how much getting that letter meant to them and how much it helped them when they got to learn more about their own kids. And I'm also reminded that this award isn't a prize. It's a challenge and a calling. It's about continuing to tell the truth at a time when doing so is being penalized. It's about being our full selves when the law no longer treats us as equals. I'm trying my best. It's hard. I'm trying to exist and do my job and keep my family safe, and so is everyone I know in my community. And I have it much, much easier than most of my trans and non-binary siblings. We really need everyone who isn't in our community to understand just how hard it's become to simply live our lives. So it is on behalf of my beloved, brave, fierce, and weary trans and non-binary siblings, young and old, that I accept this award. I want to thank HRC for honoring me along with these amazing 2 journalists. I want to thank my past colleagues for putting up with me and my current ones at Axios. I'm so proud to work with you every day. To my parents, my friends, and my family, thank you for allowing me to do what I do and be who I am. And again, to my trans and non-binary siblings, I couldn't be prouder to stand with you and for you every day. Thank you.